Welcome to the Wilson Combat YouTube channel. I'm Ken Hackathorn, and this is another episode of the Masterclass series. A couple things I want to talk to you about, and we're going to kind of call this the new reality. In the last year or so, we've had some dramatic changes in our society. Life is about change. We don't always like them, but we sometimes have no choice but to deal with them or accept them. One of the things that we've had in the past, there was kind of the mindset of most people, particularly if you carry a weapon, and you've got a CCW and you carry a weapon for your self-defense. Your goal was to do the right thing. You wanted to be the good citizen. You wanted to be the person who was responsible. We've seen some dramatic changes. Particularly driven by the left is this obsession with defunding the police, making the law enforcement community the evil ones. Remember, how do you destabilize a society? You destroy the citizens' faith in that society. Best way to explain it is, if you ask most people in America today, regardless of political affiliation, how well do you trust the government? On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate your trust of the government? And when you ask that question, you get some pretty grim answers. Everything from 0 to maybe a 1 or 2 or 3. And that's a big change in our society. 25 years ago, most people would have probably said, oh, I trust the government, I give them an 8 or 9. Today, a 1 or 2. That's a bad sign as a society. One of the things that used to be, you carried a weapon and you're faced with a threat, your attitude was, okay, I know how to shoot, I've taken a class, I've watched these videos, I know what to do. You might want to rethink that based upon the new reality of America. And that is, I'm a firm believer that in today's society, avoidance is a better plan. If you see what appears to be a problem that might require you to use of force, your best measure is to avoid it. Break contact and leave. Because you may say, well, I want to do the right thing that in your mind may end up being the wrong thing in the public eyes. Remember, there's the two things. There's the facts and perception. And the media in America is a marketer of perception, not necessarily facts. And we've seen it over and over in the last year. You carry a gun, you want to defend yourself, you want to protect your family, but you see what you think is a crisis or a problem coming. You know what? Leave. Go another direction. Do not get yourself involved in a shooting if you can help it. It's an expensive and emotional experience for most people. You can be tried in the court of public opinion and have your life altered forever. Clint Smith has a great teaching point he's used for years. The best gunfight is the one that you're not in. And thinking that, hey, I'm a good shooter and I've got a nice blaster and I've got magic bullets and I can win this fight. Probably not a good attitude in America today. Let's face it, white males are being demonized. You may defend yourself righteously, but find yourself on the wrong side of where you think you should be. Understand, we're in a society now where avoiding conflict for what we'll call the normal citizen is probably the best plan. I wish it wasn't that way, but that's the way it plays out. My old buddy Matt Graham has what he calls shoot house rules. And one of the first rules he has is no one is coming to save you. In America today, the assumption we had for the last century has been if you're in trouble, you could call and the police would come running to help you or save you. Thanks to the current culture, that's not the case anymore. Most people live in urban America will tell you they're not comfortable. They realize if somebody tries to kick their door in the middle of the night, they may or may not get a rapid police response. By the way, one of the reasons for the huge demand for firearms in the last year, people woke up to the reality is, hey, the cops may not be here to save me. I better get a gun and have it in my home to protect me. And we saw that in some segments of our communities in the last year or so. So Matt Graham's comment about no one is coming to save you is something you've got to come to reality with. You're responsible for yourself and your family. Thinking that somehow a police officer is going to come quickly to bail you out may be a little far-fetched right now. And let me give you a real clue. You know, I'm a retired cop. I still in touch with a lot of cops from all around the country. You know, I've done training programs for a lot of agencies, state, federal, and local over the years. And I still talk to a lot of guys. And you know what the undercurrent is in American law enforcement? You know, it used to be, back in my day, no matter what, you go home at the end of the shift safe and sound to your family. That was rule one. That rule's been changed. It's still there. But you know what the new rule in law enforcement is, folks? If you don't get out of the car, you can't get in trouble. Well, think about that for a minute. To think that somehow you're going to punch 911 on your phone and they're going to come running like the cavalry to save you from the demons in the night is pretty unrealistic. Now, a lot of us live in communities where nothing much has changed and we can count on police response and protection. But you know what? It's not the norm anymore. You need to look at the realities and don't expect the cops to come. I tell everybody, I can't imagine being a law enforcement officer today is going to be terribly attractive. The drawback is cops are leaving the jobs at record numbers, and can you blame them? The agencies have got to replace them. And you can imagine the people that are coming into the academy may not have been the people that you would have accepted or wanted a couple years ago. So the future is a little bleak. I want you to think about that. And by the way, it segues into one other issue. People often ask me about, well, how much ammo do I need? It's real simple. You need to figure out how much ammo do you normally consume. Say you go to the range once a month to practice and you shoot 100 rounds. That's your norm. Well, it's pretty simple. Your ammo consumption for 1 year is 1,200 rounds. Now you say, well, I also shoot a USPSA or IDPA match and I shoot 100, 150 rounds. Well, guess what? That's going to require you to double it more. And one of the things I get all the time is people like to talk about what their self-defense ammo, that's the hollow point. You know, that's the stuff that we all carry and everybody's got a magic bullet that they think is better than the rest. And guys tell me, this stuff you carry in your gun for self-defense is the most important ammo you can own. Wrong. Your practice ammo is the most important. Because without practice, you don't maintain your competency. So I guarantee you, given a choice between 100 rounds of magic bullets, quote, your fancy hollow points, or 100 rounds of ammo to go to the range each month to practice, I'll tell you what, the practice ammo is more important to your survival. So as the future produces a change in the ammo environment, let's face it, we've went through this cycle for off and on numerous times of the ammo shortages. This one's been the worst, it's probably going to be the longest, but you need to be realistic on how much ammunition should I have in inventory for training and for practice. Hey, if you got 100 rounds of self-defense ammo that you know your gun works with, that ammo is probably going to last you for a long time because we don't shoot much of that. But the practice ammo is critical. And you need, if you reload, the same way with components wise. How much ammo do I consume? Okay, I need to have an inventory of these components, powder, primer, bullets, to maintain my proficiency. Realistically, the new reality from the ammo standpoint is think ahead. Don't assume you can walk into the box store or your local sporting goods store and buy a box of ammo off the shelf cheaply. That may be a while. Stock up, make sure you get a supply. And most important, remember, in our world today, avoid conflicts. Break contact if you can. Remember, nobody's going to come to save you. If you expect that, you may be very disappointed. And the price you may pay for that is the safety of yourself and your family. Listen, kind of a grim subject, but it's the reality of where we're at in America today. And again, by the way, next time you see a police officer, don't be afraid to walk up to him and say, hey, I appreciate what you're doing. Because Lord knows, they're not getting much positive feedback from the public. Stay safe. See you on the range next time.